Okay, so a short meeting this week, kind of. I think, to
Yeah.
everybody's pleasure. First meeting in 2017. Not a whole lot of things to go over this meeting. There's only a couple.
No, very brief. There's just two or three things on the agenda, and so yeah, a 12-minute meeting. That's a good way to start the year, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, it is. Going over one of the things, we had a couple of motions on the rescinding the motion that was made on the December 19th meeting. Can you kind of go over
Yeah.
what brought that up?
Well, we actually had put out for quotes on removing 9 trees throughout the city. These are trees that are old or damaged or something and need to come down. And so we need professional tree removers to take them down for us, because a lot of them are, several of them are over 80 feet tall. So, our guys can't do them themselves. The guy that won the low bid, Mr. Hughes, as part of that, you have to also provide proof of insurance for liability insurance and insurance on your vehicles. He did not do that. He did not get back to us when we called and requested that. And so after a period of time of hearing no response from him, the committee made the decision to go ahead and go to the next lowest bidder, which was Mr. Longden. And then between the time it was put on tonight's agenda and tonight's meeting, Mr. Hughes did contact us, informed us he thought would get the insurance for us, and he would like the opportunity to go ahead and finish the project. He thought he could get those 9 trees down in the remaining approximately 17 days left on his contract. So that's what we were going to try and do by rescinding the motion. He had 17 more days on his contract, and we were hoping he could go ahead and get those done in that period of time. The aldermen, I think, were put off a little bit by his non-responsiveness early, and so they decided not to give him that opportunity and to go ahead and move on to Mr. Longden. That was the second motion on tonight's agenda. They decided to even table that and have more discussion, because apparently Mr. Hughes has done some work. We're just not sure how much. We don't know how that might change the amount that Mr. Longden is willing to do it for. If he was going to do it for 9 trees and now there's only 7 left, we might have to dicker with him a little bit on what the new price would be. So they motioned to table any action on that subject, and so we'll take that back to the next committee, the appropriate committee, discuss it again, and come out with a new motion.
All right, and the other thing I wanted to ask you about, you had something in your mayor updates about some drainage in the city.
Sure.
Can you kind of expand on that a
Well,
little?
it's a sanitary sewer project that we've talked about for, like I say, almost 7.5 years now. When I first started my first term, one of the problems that was brought to my attention early was in the northeast section of town. We have a lot of old, antiquated sewer pipes. Anytime new business would come in that area on the northeast corner of town, we'd have to ask the sanitary district, can you handle additional load? Unfortunately, many times they'd come back to us and says, no, if it's a load of any size, we're maxed out. And we've had to turn down possible business interest in here that would have employed lots of people here. So I knew early that we had to find some way to overcome that. And the least expensive, we couldn't go into the aged infrastructure and replace what was in town already. I mean, that would have cost hundreds of millions of dollars probably to do that. So we thought of the idea of a bypass. And even the bypass, at that time when we first started talking, it was $1.5 million estimate to have that project done. It has since, in the 7.5 years, grown to over $3 million to get it done. But we finally got the approval, and we've got the low interest loans from the state that's going to allow us to do that. And I think it'll be a great thing, because again, it gives us another option should some of the old sewer lines break. We now have somewhere else to tap onto, so it gives us an option that way. Plus, anytime new business does come in, new industry, we'll be able to reply with a positive answer. Yes, we can handle if you want to locate here in Taylorville. So I think it's going to be a win-win for everyone, and I think it's a very good long-term investment.
Now, I know there's been talk about a possible industrial park coming to the city. Would the sewage system and the plumbing help that out, or?
It won't help that out exactly, but that's on the end. That's actually where this line will run to eventually, to that area out by Walmart. The industrial park used to be located out by the current bean mill, and so that's where this thing first started. And if they were going to locate there, one of the businesses that we were first looking at 7.5 years ago was the Tenaska power plant. And we wanted to find out how we would serve their needs. And so that's kind of what got the whole ball kicked off at talking about how we're going to do this. Well, unfortunately, we know that Tenaska didn't come to fruition, and that was sad for everyone else. But we have to keep thinking long term that maybe someone else will come down the line and need that service there. And that has happened a couple times. We've had a couple nibbles there of businesses wanting to locate, and like I say, unfortunately, we've had to tell them no. But in the future, we'll be able to tell them something positive.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Mayor.
Thank you.